Um, Warm welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking your time coming here to listen what I have to say about Vault. Before we start, just a quick introduction of myself and the company I work for. So my name is Ivica. I work at CROZ. CROZ is short for Candle Representative Office Zagreb. Um, CROZ is a Croatian-German biz tech company. Uh, this year will be this December actually we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary. Well, the main thing that we do is custom development. We had like 1,000 big and small projects for governments, financial institutions, telcos, you name it. Beside custom development, we also do system integrations and DevOps. That's where I fit in. Also, we do have an AI spin-off company. We do mainframe, we do business intelligence data, and consulting, and many more. We have our main offices are in Zagreb, Croatia, and in Munich, Germany, but we also have few branch offices around Southeast Europe. Myself, I'm a system engineer, 15 plus years of experience. I started off as IT support, then I moved on to handling backup solutions, business continuity, collaboration tools. Then I switched to virtualization platforms. And for the last few years, I've been doing security related tools, mostly handling access and identity management, and also some PKI systems as well. With me today is my colleague Matan. You won't see him, but he's in the background. So feel free to engage in discussion. Feel free to ask questions. Matan will try to answer those if I don't get them first. Okay. So let's see what's on the menu today. As you can see on the photo on the right, this is basically a breakfast I had a few weeks ago at the Tech Exchange at the IBM conference at Orlando. And even though it's just breakfast, you can see that there is a lot of stuff going on the plates. So I really hope that this presentation will be the same. Yes, we are talking about Vault, but Vault offers a lot. We'll start with, defining basic definitions about secrets, setting up some expectations, I would say. We'll move on then to some most common Vault features, and at the end, I will show you Vault use cases from, I would say, real life examples. Before we start with Vault features, I have a question for you. So, can anyone tell me what a secret is? I mean, you don't have to answer it. I know we all have secrets. If you want to share one with me, feel free. I'm good at keeping secrets. But while I was preparing for this presentation, I was trying to see what's the actual definition of a secret data or sensitive data. And I found this one. This one really suits me the best. So it says something like any information that can cause financial, reputational, legal, and operational damage if it gets into the wrong hands. The last part was added by me. So now that we know what a secret is, or at least we have one definition for it, then I guess we can define what Vault is. And my definition of Vault is basically Vault is just a set of tools for managing sensitive digital data. Okay. Before we proceed, I would like to get some feedback from you. So hopefully in a few seconds, you will see a pop-up asking you a few questions. It's an optional poll. You don't have to answer it. I'll read the questions for those who maybe don't see it. So basically, it's just for me to get a glimpse of how are you how are you handling your secrets. So the first question is, what do you feel is the biggest pain with secrets today? And then you have multiple choices. The second one is, how are secrets distributed to apps today, in your opinion? And the last question is, are you satisfied with how secret management works in your organization? Okay. Feel free to just pick some answers that suits you the best. Um, I see some answers coming in. That's great. Thank you. I will minimize the poll. My colleague Matan will end the poll in about 10 or 20 seconds, and I will just continue to the next slide. All right, give me a second. So let's see what Vault can give us. Yes, Vault is mostly famous for storing the data. In terms of Vault, we can hear the term KB engine, which is most commonly used one. Basically, it's just a store for key value pairs. Key value pair can be your username, password, but it can be anything else. It can be a credential, token, SSH key, certificate, whatever you think it's valuable. Please recall that definition, and then you'll see what can you store in this digital vault. The best analogy I've heard about Vault is it's a bank, actually. So you can think of it as a bank. I know we all have bank accounts. Hopefully, we have some money on them. And now, from time to time, we would like to get that money. That's our valuable asset there. And in order to do that, to access the money from different locations, I don't know, from ATMs, from web shops, from different bank offices, we need to provide some kind of proof that we are the owners of that bank account. And as soon as that is verified, the bank will grant some amount of that same money to us. Then we can use it for any purpose we like. That transaction is heavily audited, monitored, controlled, and also it can be revoked. Same goes for Vault. Vault does support keeping static and dynamic secrets, static for longer term and dynamic for maybe just shorter validity periods. It can generate them automatically. It can rotate them. There are a lot of cool features. I will show you in the later slides how to use those options. So as I said, Vault is not just one thing. It's not just for storing your secrets. Vault does offer you an option to run a PKI system. So it means that you can spin up your certificate authority just using Vault. Why do you want to use PKI? Well, I don't know, a couple of things come to my mind. For example, PKI is a perfect system that enables you to verify someone's identity. We can talk about personal identities, human identities, but mostly in these days we are talking about machine identities. Let's just imagine, I don't know, everyone is talking about AI agents, and maybe let's just use certificates to authenticate those agents before they do something. Let's see if they have permission to do that. That's one thing why maybe you should use PKI system on Vault. Also, if you already have your own, and I hope you do, good news is that you can utilize Vault as an intermediate certificate authority, and you can let it handle the machine identities automatically. Vault supports Acme protocol, works really well with certbot, cert manager, and all other automation ways for handling the certificates. Why you want to automate that? Well, just not recently, but the big guys, the Google, the Microsoft, and all others said, look, if you're using certificates, there is a potential security issue because if your certificate is valid for more, I don't know, than X number of days, your keys could get compromised and you can get in trouble. So the solution that they are offering is basically a logical one. They said no more certificates that have a validity longer than 50 days or so. Now, just imagine how much effort you would need to replace all your certificates manually every 50 or less days. So why not leave Vault to handle that for you? There will be some demos at the end showing you basically how to do it. Next option that Vault does offer you is encryption and transformation, basically just a specific way of encrypting data. So let's imagine that you have some really classified data that you don't want to expose. The logical thing for you to do is to encrypt it. And to do that, you would need to develop an application that does exactly that. And what you need to take in consideration when developing that kind of system is, first of all, you need to be on track with all the newest changes in key handling, some encryption methods, the newest CVs that can pop up anytime now. I don't know. NIST can say, look, yesterday this algorithm that you used was valid. Today it's weak. You need to change it. So every time that something new comes up in that world, you would need to basically rewrite the part of your application. And why should you do that if you can just offload the whole encryption thing to Vault? It's as easy as just using an API call to encrypt the data, and same goes for decryption. In terms of transformation, it's basically just a way of encrypting data, but with preserving the format. One of the cool use cases that Vault offers by default, I would say, is the DB engine. So in today's time, mostly if you want to access some DB, you need credentials for that, and the usual procedure would be, hey, I'm a system engineer. I need to connect some applications to a database. I would go to DB admin. I would get the credentials, put them in the right place, and forget about those. And then that could pose a security threat, I would say, because no one will rotate those. No one will see who is using it, especially if we are talking about custom development. We have many environments, dev test, staging, pre-prod, production. You never know who accesses those. Not every environment has equal security levels in place, so you cannot be really sure who's using that. The resolution for that issue is basically issuing short-lived credentials that can be rotated automatically and that can be recalled anytime. That's what the DB engine exactly does. Everything that I mentioned here is controlled by some kind of access controls. The access control is basically a set of policies that basically forbids everything except the specific part that you're entitled to. And of course, we cannot forget the audit trail. Everything that you do with secret data needs to be audited. So let's dig deeper in those features. As I mentioned, Vault is pretty safe, and to be safe, yes, needs to use encryption. On the storage level, there is no way for you to read any kind of plain text data or whatever that you store in the Vault safe. When you start the Vault, it comes sealed, locked, meaning you cannot use any data from there unless you have some kind of set of keys, and that set of keys supports K out of N decryption, meaning that you can, for example, say, okay, I have 5 keys for unsealing the vault, and I need minimum of 3 keys, which can be distributed to different personas. So you're basically increasing the security levels on who can access what. Even better, those keys can be safely stored in a HSM device, so that's an additional layer of security there. If we are talking about static and dynamic secrets, some of the great features that Vault supports is basically versioning. So just in case you need to roll back, there is an option for you to do that. Vault does support different options for providing those secrets to your endpoints. We'll see a bit later about that. Encryption as a service and transformation as a service is just an API endpoint that you can utilize. If you present a proper access token, then you don't have to worry about anything related to that. Each of the policies that we create within Vault and every action is accompanied by, I would say, tokens that they have TTL protection, meaning that there is no way that you can leave something hanging for years, because TTL will make sure that it's not valid anymore after a short period of time, for example, minutes. And yes, I already talked about audit. So when the auditors come knocking in, you will be ready. Okay. PKI system works as any other. If you want to prove someone's identity, you put a certificate signing request, send it to Vault's PKI API. That will be signed. The keys are always stored within the Vault, and then you will get your signed certificate, which you can use later on anywhere you need it. If we are talking about the encryption, well, basically the procedure goes that your application will send plaintext data to an encryption endpoint. You will get it in encrypted form. You can store it somewhere in a database, and then later on, if needed, you will do the same procedure basically for decryption. If we are talking about DB engine, there are a few steps that you need to make sure are done before using it. Basically, it's just 3 simple steps for configuration. So you need to have a way to access your database, and even that initial credential can be automatically rotated so no one knows what it is and it cannot be misused. And after that, you will allow Vault to basically generate some roles or credentials for any specific database that you use, or you can even develop your custom plugin if you're using some of the, let's say, less supported databases. Now, I was talking about the proof that you are entitled to access the Vault. So Vault does support a lot of options for the authentication. I have named just a few here. Well, basically username and password, everyone knows about that. Vault does have an integration with major cloud providers, so you can use those as a authentication source. You can bring your own identity provider using OpenID Connect. If we are talking about Kubernetes world, there is a special way of utilizing Kubernetes service accounts and tokens with the kube authentication. Yes, you can use also tokens generated from Vault directly. You can plug it on your LDAP. You can use app role authentication, which is basically a special form of authentication, something similar to username and password, but a bit safer. You can use TLS certs, and yeah, these are just a few that are supported, but there are many more. Good news that everything that I listed here can be used for authentication, but also it can be used for creating those credentials at the same endpoints. So you can use Vault to create your access credentials for cloud. You can use Vault to provision the LDAP users. You can use Vault to, I don't know, provide tokens, TOTPs. It's a really, really powerful and flexible tool. When we are talking about Vault, there is one question that comes up really, really often, and that is, okay, what if I use Vault to store my credentials that I need for a system to work? So what happens if the Vault is down, if it's not available? And my answer to that is, okay, but can you guarantee that your system will be up for 99.9999% of the time? So basically, Vault was built for an enterprise environment. Vault does support high availability. You can have multiple replicas. Vault you can use different storage types, console, raft, specially crafted for that purpose. Yes, it does support replication for disaster recovery purposes. If you are a heavy user, then you can utilize performance replicas, because basically from real world examples, most of the usage, most of the requests that come to Vault is a read request. So if you are having a really heavy load, you can spin up some read-only replicas that will help you distribute that load. In terms of installation, the Vault supports everything. Basically, if you don't want to spin your environment, you can just go to cloud offering. There are a few. You can run it on bare metal, which is a recommended way. You can spin it within VM. You can use Helm chart to deploy it on your favorite Kubernetes environment. Basically, you can run it on your laptop as I'm doing today. One of the features that the big players, Red Hat, Microsoft, IBM, have shown in one site called validated patterns. I don't know if you heard about those. It's the best, I would say, best practices about some specific use cases when you're trying to design your systems. If you Google that and if you go for zero trust architecture, which is a really popular term these days, you will see that Vault is one of the key components there. So if the big players think that Vault is good enough, and I have no objections to that. Please check it out. From the informations I collected about the actual users, the bigger users, I've named a few in the last bullet here. Well, basically, GitHub, GoDaddy, SVA from Germany, Cisco, Air France, Booking.com. Everyone has a use case for Vault, and it is being heavily used in production. For example, GitHub just presented at the latest HashiConf the numbers from their Vault usage. They have like 300 million requests per day. They keep 60,000 secrets in it. They have more than 300 PKI systems. And they managed to deliver all the responses within less than 1 millisecond of response times, which is, I would say, impressive. Also, they started with a Vault community version, meaning free. You don't have to pay anything, just start using it. And then if you see that you need to have some more, I would say, enterprise features, then you can go and buy a license and use those. If you have an option to, I don't know, to support many customers, there is also an option for multi-tenancy. If not, then you can do that by just modifying your access policies. So Vault is a standalone tool, set of tools, but there are some add-ons that you can use. The two latest ones that I would like to mention here is Vault Radar. So basically, if you don't know where your secret's at, Vault Radar will help you figure that one out. It's a tool that scans your code repositories, your file systems, your ticketing systems. It has multiple plugins, or it supports multiple sources, and it will search for sensitive data. And also it has an option to scan for uh, personally identifiable information and non-inclusive language. The last part I didn't test, so I cannot tell you more about it. Um, Another cool feature that has just been released, it's still in beta version. It's Vault MCP. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Basically, it's a way of enabling your AI models to utilize data that is stored within the Vault. We have a first demo is actually about that, and I'll show you how it looks like. Um, Vault comes with many preloaded plugins, but there is also a whole universe of plugins that you can add later on. And also you can develop your custom plugins. So just to name a few, Active Directory, Mongo, Jenkins, and many more. Okay. Now, to conclude the theoretical part, why does this all matter? Well, I hopefully I've convinced you to see that there is a value in safely keeping your valuable data within Vault, and also utilizing other options that Vault provides. So yes, you can have one tool or one set of tools in one place that will manage your sensitive data across environments. Yeah, every presentation about Vault starts with a one term that I didn't mention, but I could do it now. It says that story I was telling you about. You can have secret in many environments, and you don't know who's accessing it and why and when. That's they call it secret sprawl. So yeah, Vault is great central place which can control where your secret's at, and basically you will have better control over that secret sprawl. As I said, if you are in regulated industries, you can demonstrate compliance and audit readiness with it. And the most important part is just reducing the security risk of exposing your data. Last but not least bullet, it integrates really well with the existing DevOps workflows. Now, that basically concludes the theoretical part about Vault. If you have any questions, as I said, feel free to write them. And next part would be the demos. So I think we are right on time. I've prepared a few demos. I was in real dilemma. Should I do it live? And at the last moment, I decided not to. I have pre-recorded those, although I am connected currently at our test Vault instance. And if anyone wants to run any command on it, I can show it maybe if time allows. First demo would be basically a basic secret handling within Vault. Yes, we will use manual way on, creating a vault, listing or showing data, creating a secret within Vault, sorry, and showing its data. We'll try to update the secret and see it's an easy thing to do, but I I would like to also show you the possible usages with MCP and AI or LLM models to do that same thing or even more. So in our first demo, I'll first just quickly explain what I will be showing, and then I'll actually show you the demos. So in our first demo, we are using Vault instance. We are using some LLM that we have running somewhere here in our private cloud, and we are also using Vault MCP server that is basically a proxy between all of that. And yeah, we'll pass on some few commands to our AI and see how it goes. The next two demos are similar. Basically, we are talking about automating the certificate lifecycle. First one will be within Kubernetes or OpenShift environment, where we will be creating automatically certificates for Nginx routes or basically OpenShift ingress objects. And the second one is similar, but the automation of certificate issuance will be done on a standalone server. So it's not Kubernetes, it's just some server that we use for testing. Next topic, okay, this is related to uh, external secret operator within OpenShift environment. So we'll see how easy it is to bring the secrets from the vault to your Kubernetes environment, to your pods. After that, I will show you a simple use case on DB credential rotation on Postgre database, providing just-in-time access and revoking that as well. And last two demos would be encrypting and decrypting data, and also doing a key rotation and rewrapping that data. And we'll show you the last demo would be that we will try to transform or transform some specific types of data. In this example, that would be credit card numbers. Okay, so please give me a second just to start my first demo. Hopefully, I will hit the right button. If I hit stop share and then reshare again. All right. Hope you can see it. Now, let's see. The first example would be just running a few commands for getting all the secrets within the vault. So Vault saves all the secrets in some on some paths. In this example, we stored something under the appdb path, and you can see the values here. The key value pair is we have two. One is for the password, and the other one is for the username. Okay. Now we will try to basically change it. It's just, yeah, I'm using the Vault command line. But basically, this is just an API call. Now you can see that the data here has been changed to user and password tree. Okay, so now let's imagine we want to use this data, the username and password from Vault in our application, but we don't want to change anything within our application. And there is an option within Vault to do that. We can utilize one specific part of Vault, which is called Vault Agent. And that fine piece of software will basically connect to Vault, authenticate, and it will pull the data that we need, and it will basically put it on a specific location in specific format that our application can consume. So in order to do that, we do have some configuration files. First one is the agent configuration, And in the first section, you see that we need to authenticate somehow to Vault. And basically to do that, we are using the app role authentication, which means that we need a role ID and a secret ID. It's almost similar as using a username and password to authenticate, but these are more these are time limited, and also you will see that once it can be just a one-time secret ID, which doesn't stay anywhere once it's consumed. So it's basically a much safer way of doing the authentication. The second part is here. When we are authenticated, we will get a Vault token. That token will be used then to fetch all the data that we need from Vault, and that data will be saved in some app config JSON file that our application can use. So we can take a look at other config files. So yes, before we even started, we said to Vault, look, here's a policy that only allows read access to our. Now, let's see what's the next step. Oh, it says why internet connection is unstable. Well, hopefully it will last a few minutes more. Now, this is a template. Basically, Vault agent will take care of the refreshing all the data from Vault to specific location using this template. I have removed the previous process ID file because I did few attempts just to make sure it works before I started recording. Now I'm going to Vault. I need to fetch role ID and secret ID. Good thing about role ID is basically almost static thing, so you can bake it into your image. You can, store it. It doesn't really change that often, but you need to figure out a safe way on how to deliver the secret ID. And you could see that secret is valid only for 1 hour. Anyway, I will store that data I got from the Vault to files that are accessible to the agent. So basically just writing it within the agent directory. And then after that, I will start the agent itself. It will read the role ID and secret ID. As soon as the secret ID is read, it will be automatically deleted from disk, so no one can misuse it. Anyway, if it stays on disk, it won't be valid after 1 hour. Okay, now let's run the agent itself. So the agent is doing its magic. And now let's see the final result. We have a appconfig.json. Basically, that's a config file that our application uses. And you can see the same username and password that we saved in a first step that is now here. Okay, moving on to the next thing. I mentioned using AI. In this particular case, I'm using Qwen code. It's basically a client, and it is connected to Vault MCP. As you can see, I have 16 tools available at my disposal. Our LLM model is also running, I think, Qwen model from Ali Cloud, from Alibaba. Uh, Last week it was DeepSeek. This is like our testing environment, and the guys from AI team do keep changing things. So I think I got it correctly this time. Anyways, let's see how can I utilize my Qwen code assistant to do something for me with Vault data. You can use VS Code you can connect it to, I don't know, ChatGPT or any model that you're using. And also you can then run the MCP Vault server, and it will try to see what's in the Vault and do something with it. First query was like, I want to see what's under this mount. And yeah, sometimes LLMs can be tricky because you need to give them an exact prompt or a correct prompt. So it says, okay, there are no secrets here under this. I think I missed the app DB instead of DB/app. So I said, okay, show me everything you got. And then the I got something out of it. As you can see, we have some secrets. We have two KV engines, ESO, and the other one's called secret. And there are some secrets stored there. And if I say, okay, show me the data, for example, for AppDB, it will go to both of those KV engines and it can read the data. So you can use it to create new secrets, delete secrets, but as I said, it's still in beta version, so it's a bit limited. Okay, now I said, all right, I want to see what can I do with the certificate authorities. So I want to check if there is any involved. I said, show me all PKI engines you have. And it took some time, but at the end, I think I got few PKI mounts. Perfect. And the most common thing that you will see in practice is that, yes, I want to have a certificate for a specific server signed by a specific CA. In this case, I'm going to use PKI root to do that. And I will just politely ask my LLM to create a request for Vault to actually do that. Okay, I'm using my domain, CROZ.net or server one. And then at the end, I got the private key, public key, and details about the certificate. And also the client asked me, do you want to save this to a local file? And I said yes. And now basically the first demo is done. Okay. Now let's move on to the second one. Give me a second, please. Just to see the share button. Oh, okay. You can see it. Perfect. So, okay. Just to hit play here. All right. Now, same thing. Let's check on secret in KV store within Vault. We have one. It's for username password. And let's try to push that to our OpenShift environment. We will be using external secrets operator, which will create a secret that then will be synced from Vault to the OpenShift. You can see that the refresh interval is set to 15 seconds. You can pick any. And then now let's just double check. Is it the data really there? And now if we check the actual secret and parse it a bit, you can see, okay, we got the DB user part and yeah, let's see the password. I think it matches. So basically just, using the operator, referencing the key values and attributes and mapping those to secret. It's a, I would say, easy peasy thing to pull the data from Vault to your OpenShift environment. Okay, let's change a secret within Vault. In this case, we will just change a password. So you can see the password has been changed. And if we wait 15 seconds and do another check, you can see that the username is still the same and the password has been changed. Okay, means that sync is working. Next demo, it's all about certificates. So if you recall the PKI root CA from my AI demo. That's the one. Yeah, I forgot to mention there is a web UI for Vault for those who like to see things in this way. And its common name is CROZnet root CA. So let's try to create, for example, some kind of Nginx deployment and a service in Ingress. And let's try to use certificate manager to ask the PKI root on Vault to sign a certificate. Now you can see that there is a certificate request and you can see that it has been approved. Perfect. We actually had to do zero effort there, meaning no manual things. And now if we check the certificate itself that is stored in the secret, we can see there is a private and public key there. So it means it's ready to be consumed by a route. So let's see the route itself. If we open that in a browser, okay, so it's the Nginx. And now if you really try really hard, I'm sorry for the bad video quality, but hopefully you can see that the common name who issued the certificate is the same that I showed you, is that CROZ.net root CA. Okay, what's great about this integration that certificate manager will basically handle the rotation, automatic rotation, meaning you can issue certificates valid for 5 minutes, and every 5 minutes, cert manager will automatically rotate those. Similar example, but just not an OpenShift, but we are running it on our some MPU HSM test machine. We will use certbot. Hope you all know what certbot is. It's heavily used with Let's Encrypt, but it's basically a client that can talk Acme to our PKI, and basically we will ask him to renew an existing certificate. So we'll select number 2 because we already have a certificate in place, and done. If we check that certificate with an OpenSSL, hopefully we will see all the data from PKI root in there. So PKI on Vault does support OCSP and CRL endpoints for checking. Also does support all common certificate extensions. And you can see the issuer is the root CA and the subject alternative name is the one that we requested in the command. Now, if you put this in some kind of automated cron job, your job is done. You don't have to worry that the expired certificate will bring your entire environment down. I've seen quite of those issues. Okay, fourth example. Please give me a second. So we want to enable just-in-time access for DBs. In this case, we have DB running on our OpenShift. I think it's somewhere in a container. And what we are doing here, basically, we are asking Vault, can you provide us a set of credentials with this policy, with this role for that specific database? And it's basically just one call to the API endpoint, and we can get the username and password. And now we will try to log in using that same credentials. So the username is this long thing, and the password is randomly generated thing. Now we are connected, we are using Postgres. So if you can see here, there is just one table available and we can read from it. If we check the users, we can see that this user that we just generated is on the list. And you can see also it has a expiry date and time. So I was talking, when I was mentioning the bank analogy, I said transactions can be rolled back or canceled. Well, basically, this is it. Every time you get something from Vault, it is called a lease. So you can, if needed, you can manually revoke it. And now, if we hit revoke lease, in the background, the DB engine will call off the created user. You can see it's gone now from the user list. And if we try to do the same select command from the test table, you will see that we don't have any more permissions to do that. Okay. Two more demos to go, and then we can wrap it up. These are short ones. So, if you recall the example about encryption, this is a way how the encryption engine works. So first you need to create a key. In this first command, I created a key called my key. It has just one version and it supports specific operations. Now we will try to encrypt some data with it. Since this is an API call, it's running over the network. Basically, just to send it, we need to encode it in base64 format. So I will take my secret value, encode it in base64, and I'll pass it on to transit engine to encrypt it with my key. Okay. Done. Now you can see that this encrypted text is basically available for you to store anywhere you like. No one can read it because the key is within the vault. If you need to decipher it, you just use similar command and you send ciphertext to decrypt endpoint. Of course, you have to undo the base64 encoding, and there you have it. All right. Now, let's imagine that this key, for compliance reasons or any others, needs to be rotated. We can do that. Now we have two keys, and we can Vault can basically enable you history on how far will you go to decrypt your data. So here it says minimum decryption version is 1. Yeah, I can have that. I don't know, can have 5 or 10 keys and allow only last 2 keys to decrypt, because there is always a transition period when we are talking about it. Now we will take a ciphertext from the first example and we will rewrap it using the second key. Okay, now we got completely different encrypted text, but let's see, does it still has the option to decrypt it, and does it still holds the original data? Let's call the decryption endpoint, and let's undo the base64 encoding, and there you go. The original value is still here. Okay, last demo. So last demo is something similar, but we are trying to preserve a format for our data. In this specific case, we are talking about credit card numbers. So transform engine does encryption and masking. It uses format preserving encryption to do that. If you want to save the exact format of the data, there are some built-in templates. You can create your own. Now you need to just set up the engine to use that template. All right. And if you list what's available here, we can see we have that card number template. And let's try to send some values there. Okay. The original credit card number 11122233444 was transformed to some random numbers. Now you can safely store it in your database. If you want the original value to be shown, yeah, you need to decode it. Basically, there it is. Okay. That's about it. That's about it. There is one last question for you guys and ladies. There will be a poll coming up any second now. And yeah, for those who cannot see the poll, basically the last question is, after this webinar, what is the single most important action you plan to take regarding secret management in your organization? I hope I've helped you getting to know Vault features. I hope I persuade you to take care of your secrets even better. And yeah. All right. Oh, there is a second question as well. What are your plans for the future? Cool question. All right. I don't see any questions in the chat. That means either you weren't paying attention or I was perfectly clear. So I hope it's the last one. We have 1 more minute. So last call if anyone wants to ask a question. If not, then I wish you a pleasant rest of the day. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Bye.